Safety and security don't just happen. They are the result of collective consensus and public investment. That is according to the late South Africa President Nelson Mandela. But is Nigeria investing enough in safety and security? This is the big question in the minds of many citizens. It's Daily Politics on Trust TV with me, Hamza Idris. Thank you for joining us tonight as we focus on trending security issues in northern Nigeria. In the past few days, the north has been experiencing a resurgence of insecurity, from the gruesome murder of innocent worshippers by bandits in Katsina State to the tit-for-tat between farmers and herders in Plateau and Benue States, and then the apparent collapse of the much-touted peace deal in Birnin in Kaduna State. The details are really devastating. Latest figures indicate that more than 55 people were killed in the Katsina attack, scores still missing, and at least 15 farmers were reportedly killed recently in Plateau State. This escalating security crisis come as the Nigerian government said it is recording successes in the fight against banditry and counter-terrorism operations with the arrest of some high-profile terrorist leaders. Now, can the government consolidate this milestone and bring to an end the different conflicts in the north central, northwest, and northeastern part of the country? Or expert analysis on this and many more security issues? Let's welcome our resource person in the person of Major General Umar I, Mohammed, retired. Welcome to our program.
Thank you very much.
Of course, the general had played a crucial role in the search and rescue mission for the late Major General Idris Al-Kali, who was ambushed and murdered in Plateau State in 2018. And before he retired, he was actually the director of housing at the Army headquarters in Plateau State. Viewers, you will also have the opportunity to contribute to the conversation when we open the telephone line later in the program. However, before the commencement of the conversation, here are some major tidbits. The Chief of Defense Staff, General Christopher Musa, has said that the recent increase in killings across the country cannot be unconnected to the lead-up to the 2027 general election. Nigeria is witnessing a rise in terrorist activities in the northeast, northwest, and other parts of the country, while states like Benue and Plateau have remained hotspots for violence and killings. And elsewhere, a former Chief of Army Staff, Tukur Buratai, on Friday advised the federal government to consider a nationwide lockdown as a strategy to decisively tackle banditry, terrorism, kidnapping, and other criminal activities. Buratai, a retired Lieutenant General, who stated this on Friday when he appeared on Channels Television, compared COVID-19's scourge with present security or insecurity in the country. The former ambassador argued that if the same mobilization of resources and people deployed during the pandemic were also deployed to tackle insecurity, it will have ended. I will take a short break. When we return, the conversation commences. Don't go away. Welcome back. As we said at the beginning of the program, we have in the studio Major General UI Mohammed, retired, and he had worked in various hotspots across Nigeria before he finally retired, and is now a security expert who analyzes issues and trends in Nigeria and beyond. I see what the CDS said and what Buratai said, a soundbite that can set the pace for our conversation before we go into details. Let's start with the CDS, who said some of this have to do with 2027. Are you on the same page with him?
Let me first start by expressing my deep grief and sorrow over the death of innocent people in Katsina, Plateau, and Zamfara states. I express my condolences to the government of people of these states and all other parts of the country in which innocent people are died due to the activities of bandits, insurgents, and some other criminal elements. Now, I have also read the comments by General C.G. Musa. I will not fault him, because in security, he's also looking at it at a very high level. Being the Chief of Defense Staff, there are some information he will have that I don't have. However, I have my own viewpoint, which I'm going to state. I'm not faulting what he has said, but I have my own viewpoint. To me, the level of insecurity in the country has so many causative issues. There are causes of insecurity. First, there is the issue of endemic poverty, the issue of unemployment, the issue of weak security architecture, porous borders, proliferation of small arms and light weapons, weak judicial system, then corruption in all facets. And this is why, let me cite some examples.
Okay.
For instance, you could see that most of the communities that have been attacked in this country are usually small, rural, poor, agrarian communities that are isolated. Most of the inhabitants in these villages are actually people who are engaged in farming and maybe rearing of animals. In some of them, they are what we call ungoverned territories.
Ungoverned territories.
Because there is no government presence in some of these settlements. And I can tell you that any settlement that does not have 4 elements means there is no government. Number one, if there is no police station, if there is no court, if there is no hospital, if there is no school, these are basic things that every community should have. Is when you have this.
You say police station, yeah.
Police station, courts, schools, and hospital. No matter how small it is, even if it's a cottage hospital. It's when you have these basic things that you should ask for water, electricity, road, and network. But some of them don't have any. That means there is no government presence at all. So this is why they are very vulnerable. Whenever they are attacked, this is why you could see the bandits attack them, kill them, and some of them are forced to leave their own dwellings or their villages.
They said maybe in Sokoto and Zamfara, there are many communities that they leave their households around 5 in the evening to go and sleep elsewhere. Then in the morning, they get back because that is where their animals, their farms are.
This is why I say this is very sad and pathetic that we have this. This is why for you to address this, it is not only kinetic, it's a whole government approach. That means there must be some level of development, there must be some level of safety nets for those who don't have anything. Then there should also be the security aspect. And even on the security aspect, I'm going to discuss it in better details. Because currently, as you can see, the Nigerian army and other security agencies are involved, are battling the security challenges facing us in about 30 states. So we're actually overstretched. Some of the issues, the army, when I left the army, I can tell you some of the key problems that have been an impediment to what we're doing. One is the issue of manpower. We don't have enough manpower. Even yesterday, I listened to somebody said, why can't we mobilize like 5,000 and send them to Zamfara? So, because there are a lot of demands, lack of manpower, then the issue of equipment. We are equipped to our own level, but looking at the complexity of the security challenges facing the country, looking at the level of demand, anything that happens, they say there should be the army there. We have now become the first line in defense, not the second. So based on that, we're overstretched.
Which shouldn't be.
Which shouldn't be the case. So this stretching of the armed forces makes you see ourselves sharing assets that should not be shared, you know. And as I told you.
How do you mean when you say sharing assets?
Good. For instance, I'm an armor officer. By our own training, the least you should be able to deploy is a platoon. A platoon of a tank has 3 tanks. A company of a tank has 11 tanks. So at least, so you see that you could see because of the fact that we are in so many places, you could see that they can deploy 2 or 1. Which is not based conventional.
What about the personnel? If you have maybe one company, you need certain number.
Yes. So you could see, so because of these challenges. So this is why I'm of the view that the government should look at the issue of recruitment. They should look at the issue of equipment. I've told you before that the government is doing very well. They have made a lot of purchases, but there is a gap.
What is the gap?
The gap is the fact that we need more equipment.
They have procured, but they ought to have
procured more.
Yes. Now, not to go very far, we need the politicians, right? Because they are those who make decisions. Don't you think the CDS is saying these people who are supposed to concentrate on the issue, their attention is on 2027, and therefore a wallowing gap between, you can see between 2025 and then 2027, almost 1.5 years or thereabout.
Well, you see, this is why, as the CDS has said now, everything has been politicized, even security. In other words, what I'm saying is that in every issue now in this country, people will bring politics. And another issue also that has actually been an impediment to what we're doing, you know, the army is part of the larger society. And I'm sure you have seen the level of decadence in terms of social fabric in the society. We have people who become criminals. So I'm sure you have seen, I saw a video trending where somebody who is serving in the Northeast stole some ammunition and is trying to sell it. Yeah. So the question is that over the time we have the issue of issues of recruitment. Where when I joined the army, I could say that most of those coming in were people of good character. But as I was leaving, you could see even rocks coming in. And it's because of some interference.
In the recruitment process.
And I think it's something that we need to look at. Because let me give you a simple example of what I saw. There was a time I saw a picture of somebody, I will not say the name, who had actually assisted some people to get recruitment to a security outfit. So when I looked at those he assisted, I saw some 2 persons that are known to be criminals. They are into drugs. They are into so many things. In fact, they are the bad eggs in that community. So in a normal recruitment process, they cannot scale through. But because it was somebody who is a big man, maybe a politician.
I get their name.
So based on that, they were just picked. And I think we have some in the army and in so many other security agencies. And this is why I'm calling on the elites, politicians, that please, even if you are going to help somebody in recruitment, please make sure that he is somebody that is clean.
Okay, now the second tidbit. Is locking down Nigeria an option? Akin to what we witnessed 2020, 2021.
You know, General Buratai was my chief of army staff. I have a lot of respect for him. He is more of an expert than myself. However, that is his viewpoint, and I'm not going to go against it. However, to me, I remembered it's one of the options that the government should look at.
Okay. One among many
several
other options.
Others.
Okay.
However, for me, my own advice, if I'm to advise the security agencies, is since we're involved in so many places, I want to advise that why can't we face and concentrate? In other words, now we are at the northeast, we're at the northwest, north central, we're at the southeast, south. You know, so
it's southwest that is relatively calm.
So the question is that I am of the view that we can now skeletally be in 3 places and be at strengths in 2. Finish them. Let's say we can now say, let's send most of the troops to the northwest and the northeast. Let's finish those 2. Then we leave small troops in the other places for them to actually like kind of a blocking force. That could be an option I will suggest.
But don't you think we over-concentrated in the northeast at a time, while these criminals calmly penetrated the northwest? Or
this is why I'm telling you that I agree with you that there was a time when we had assets, personnel and manpower, a lot in the northeast. And the neglect of other places led to the upsurge in what started small like a banditry and later on becomes a national menace. But still, my view is the fact that currently now these 2 places are actually like the issue of, you can see there is a resurgence in insurgency. And it's big, and not only that, also in the northwest, the issue of banditry like Turji has become a name that
it's synonymous with violence, with killing.
So based on that, and as I told you, the Nigerian army is bigger and stronger than them. You can be able to crush them. So I think, but we are actually too thin in so many places, because even if you go to Zamfara, you see that we have more than 50 points why we're keeping 10 soldiers, 20 soldiers, and then if they come and kill them, people will say, okay, they have dislodged Nigerian army. Nigerian army is big. That is just a section of the army. So the question is that what I'm saying is that if the army is coming out, let him come out in full strength. For example, we can be able to mobilize like 5,000 and face Turiji. He will abandon where he is. That's my belief.
Up till now, many Nigerians don't even understand the genesis. You mentioned, you say causatic factors. Now let's concentrate on northwest, especially Katsina, Zamfara, Sokoto, where people are being massacred. Look at the incident in Malumfashi. Up till now, the local people are picking their dead loved ones from the bushes. With all sense of modesty, Daily Trust was the first media house to get to that community. And our reporter defied the odds, because when he was going, no security on the road, that village off the main road, he had to use motorbike to get there, no security, no presence of government, no symbol of authority. But then these people are there picking their loved ones that have been killed and then burying them. Why are we having this? Because people are just talking about Turji. Who is Turji? Why did he pick arms?
Okay, thank you very much. I have read a lot of literature on the origin of banditry in the Northwest. Now, based on the literature and based on the knowledge I have, there was a time when the Fulanis, who were mostly in Zamfara, Sokoto and Kebbi states, were actually facing a lot of issues of rustling. Now, when their cows were restored, many of them, because they were illiterate and they could not have access to government.
To report their plight.
So, and even when they report, they see that nothing was being done because they were actually not important people. That is the judicial system that we operate. So not only were they, so whenever they report, and then they had, so based on that, some of them decided to go and buy weapons to defend themselves.
Self-help, in a way.
Self-help. Now the danger, when they bought weapons, they started defending themselves. The later on, they now realized that they were suffering by rearing animals. Suffering, you continue to follow cow from one village to another, from morning to evening.
And you have gun with you.
And the question is that by the time you see there is nothing as strong as a weapon, because there is nothing that can snip life out of person more than a weapon. Once somebody points a weapon at you, you'll be ready to give him whatever you have. So they saw the power in the weapons. So they now dropped, they left their cows and they took to banditry. They started kidnapping people, killing innocent people. And you see, this is why so many people are saying, okay, why can't we go and bomb them? I used to tell people that we have two challenges. There are challenges that we see, and there are challenges that you also see, but there are some unseen challenges that you don't know. For instance, there is a difference between an army and a bandit. A bandit can go and kill women and children, but we can't do that. And
as military.
Because some of these are like Truji is staying with their children and wives, they are all in a community. You can't go and bomb the entire community. Because the question is that there is the Geneva Convention, which says that you don't kill somebody that is innocent, you don't kill a woman, you don't kill a child. Even the person you are fighting, if he is injured, you can't kill him. If you are to shoot an enemy,
assuming now they shoot
an enemy,
Turji, for instance, in the leg, and he is bleeding, they are not allowed to kill him.
You are not. You are supposed to treat him, and then take him to court.
What about if the court releases him?
Well, this is what I'm saying. That the question is that when you have done your own, because that is how we are trained. This is why even if you were like, if you are a doctor, nobody should kill you. If you are a pressman, you should not be killed. If you are in the Red Cross, you should not be killed. But does TJ understand that? He has not read it. This is one inhibition. Secondly, the only and what people don't know is that there is also the political directive. I'm not the one who will sit with the president and tell him, because I can tell you that any operation the army is going to conduct, they will, for example, they say, okay, clear the Zamfara state. The army will sit down and come up with plan, the equipment required, the manpower required, the logistics required, and they will give the options. This is option 1, this is option 2, this is option 3. The political directive is there. The directive will be, okay, take option 1, option 2. It's not somebody who will now come and say, okay, we are told to take option 2 or option 1. You know? And however, if you are able to take, if the option 1 is for you to go and dislodge the people, even if they say dislodge, like for example, if you call the Air Force and show them where 2G is for them to come and bomb the place, they are supposed to carry out a recce. And if they are carrying out a reconnaissance, they are supposed to fly at a very low altitude, and they should be able to see. So if they see women and children, they will not bomb that place.
But for how long will they be trailing the bandits who are now using women and children as human shield?
No, this is why I say for this one now, I think the best way is for us to make use of special forces. This is why my advice.
The ones you call snipers, or
no, snipers are different.
Okay.
When we say special forces, these are persons that are trained to the limit. They are trained to the highest level. So they can be able to infiltrate, carry out, they can even be able to infiltrate, carry out destruction in the enemy
But
camp.
do we have them in Nigeria?
We do.
Where are they?
Well, I can but the question is that this is, you see, this is why I'm just telling you that there are so many things that are happening that it's not everything that they have done that we will tell you. Even the recent arrest of these Ansari leaders, Could be the work of special forces.
That is Mahmoud Muhammad Usman,
Yes,
also
it
known
could
as
be
Abu
the work of
Bara.
special
They also
forces.
call him Abbas, Mukhtar, and then Mahmoud al-Nigeri.
So it could be the work of special forces. And this is why they are limited and they are being used. Even in Maiduguri, they are making very.
But
good
is
use of
it
them.
what's celebrating the arrest of these two people?
Yeah, it is.
As if it was hyped, as if the Nigerian government, they arrested a whole battalion of.
Well, you see, in security, there's what we call the center of gravity.
Center of gravity.
The center of gravity means what is the hub? What is it that if you remove it, that thing cannot function? Because when we say center of gravity is, we are referring to that entity from which a force drives its will to fight,
The motivation.
and what have you. So usually leaders that are charismatic, especially cult-like leaders, like leaders of sects, they used to have that kind of cult followership. You know, so this is why once you remove them, the followers become rudderless. Without a leader, they become as if they are lost. So this is why it's a significant development. And I'm happy it has happened. Imagine, let me give you an example. We have all heard of Shekau. If Shekau is arrested, we'll be happy. Even now, Turuji is like that. He's a leader, you know, and we symbolize the whole of banditry in Zamfara to him. I can tell you that we have declared him wanted for a very long time. And if there is anybody that can be able to kill him or arrest him, the whole country will jubilate. So I think that is what it is.
Now, nocturnally, there is this allegation that government, especially at the center, is supporting some of the peace deals that we are witnessing. But these peace deals are turning to be the albatross to the operations there. Because, of course, in Malumpashi, there was no peace deal. We had it in Jibia and other places. But do you believe in this peace deal with this bandit?
Well, you see, let me tell you, no matter the level of war you enter into, you end up at the negotiating table, even if you fight. So the question is that usually, as I told you, there are two ways, the kinetic and non-kinetic. And I think they should go simultaneously. However, for me, I am more of the view that even if you are going to have a peace deal or a negotiation, it should be at the position of strength. Let us attack them. Let's show them that we can be able to finish them. Let's inflict heavy casualties on them. Let them beg for it. We are not the ones to beg for them to come to the table. Let them beg to come to the table. That is my advice. And the only way we can do that is we should be able to use the kinetic capacity that we have. You know, we should be able to conduct attacks and operations. We should be able to disturb them. As I tell people that once you hear there is a lull, that means the bandits are being disturbed. Once you hear them being active, that means they are not being disturbed. This is why when you say, because there are so many things happening in the bush that people don't know. There are so many things happening.
On the side of the security?
Yes. Because not everything that they will come and tell you. Because they are in the bush, there are so many activities going on.
But what we are saying, one state is into it, the other state is not part of it. Certain state like Kaduna, you know, the way they hyped the peace deal in Birnungwari, only for us now to see total collapse, or let me be modest, you know, apparent collapse of the peace deal there.
This is why, as I told you one thing, that the bandits have already known the power in weapons. That with weapons, they can get women, they can get money, they can get cars, and they're getting money in millions. So there is nothing you can do that will satisfy them. This is why the only way you can be able to make sure that they come, let them come, not you begging them. because that is what is happening now. If we can be able to attack them, they see that they see themselves being killed, they will come. They will ask for it.
When they realize that they don't have any hidden place.
Good. So this is why my advice is that the pressure should continue. We're doing a lot. There is a lot that has been done, but there is a gap. We can do better. And one of the reasons why, as I told you, that there could be some personnel that are not living up to expectation, you know, because if you are, you know, as I told you, that the Nigerian army is part of the larger society, and I'm sure you know what is happening in the larger society, that we have so many people who have actually have so many untoward attitudes toward life, you know. You can imagine, for instance, somebody who is stealing ammunition when he is asked to go and fight. Some people, you can give them very small, they will sell Nigeria.
Aiding and abetting the insecurity.
Yes.
Now I want to, because the first point you raised when I asked of your comment about what these two generals said was fundamental problems, justice system. So I'll now tilt our conversation towards Plateau State. Just a few days ago, you know, stories emerged that the suspects who killed the wedding travelers from Zaria, you know, to heading to Yerushadam in Plateau State, they have been granted bail. Why we chose to bring you is because you led the search for the late General Alkali in Plateau State 7 years ago. And can we say history is repeating itself with what happened in Mongo?
Well, as I told you that we have a weak judicial system in which, as I told you the other time, that people can use their tribe, religion to buy justice, to buy judgment.
People use
their tribe, people can use their tribe, people can use their position, people can use their party in politics, people can use their religion, people can use anything to buy judgment, not justice.
To buy judgment.
Not justice. So this is why I'm of the view that this is actually one of the things that is pushing insecurity in the country. To me, if whoever commits an offense, be him a Pulani, be him a Hausa man, be him a Birom, provided it is established that he has committed an offense, please let him pay for it. Once we do that, once we can strengthen our justice system, this level of insecurity will drop. Because I can tell you that there are so many things that are happening because of the fact that there is no justice. People, you can hear, I'm sure you're aware that people steal with impunity, and then before you know it, you see that they are on the street moving.
Some go for flea bargain, maybe, especially when it comes to money. But what about life? Of course, we spoke with lawyers 2 days ago who gave various interpretations to what happened in Plateau. But you don't see things like this happening in other places, even within the North Central. Why is Plateau unique when it comes to this kind of trampling on the law? I'm not a lawyer, but...
You know, I've stayed in the Plateau, and I've told you that there is... well, I'm happy that the current governor is trying to bring people together, but I can tell you that I can see there is acrimony, there is hostility. You know, as I told you before, the people in Plateau are living peacefully with one another. But if you go now, Plateau, even in Jos, the town is separated based on religion and tribes. And I think even when I was there, I advised that so many things should be done to bring people together.
Like what?
Like for instance, you see that schools, they should attend the same schools. When we were growing up, we attended the same schools. The rich, the poor, Muslims, Christians were all in the same class. But now if you go to Plateau, they all speak the same language. So that means they are not going to have friends when they grow.
They only
Because
believe in those who belong to their tribe.
So this is why this is tearing the state apart. And well, I am happy that the current governor is working. I've spoken several times with his security advisor, and I believe that with time things should be done. We should be able to make sure that whoever does anything wrong is punished.
But if he is working, this didn't happen in his home local government, because I know he's from Mangu. Okay. And this wedding guests were killed in Mangu. Before we put out our story, we spoke with some credible sources in Kaduna, and they said they were not carried along. And when that killing happened, you know, they said they will work together to ensure that justice is seen to have been served.
This is why I say that the question is that in Plateau, there are issues. Even when I was there, I try to see that the more they come together, the better will be for all of them. That means the more they actually look down on the divisions that is dividing them, there will be harmony and they should be able to live together. There should be tolerance. But I can tell you that even when I was there, I could see the level of acrimony and hostility between the adherents of the two major religions is very, very high. And I think I want to advise that let the government do everything they can to see that they bring people together, because a government should not divide people.
All right, thank you very much, General. Yes, of course, I will still ask you some questions, but in the meantime, viewers, it's time for you to now call using the telephone number displayed on your screen to ask questions, contribute or put context to some of the issues raised in the course of our conversation with retired Major General UI Mohammed, who had served as the garrison commander in Plateau State at the time of the murder of General Al-Kali. And of course, he's now analyzing a number of issues bedeviling, especially the northwest, north central, and northeastern part of the country. Over to you as we await your call, but don't use foul language. Go straight to the point and then tell us how you feel. Now, some analysts believe that the federal government must up its game, since we are living in the federal system, to address some of these teething problems, like the way the justice system is being administered. If you have, you fail to deliver justice to people who believe that the system is not just to them. You mentioned the Fulanis before, that their cattle rush to left, right, and center, and then finally they now pick up arms. They even throw away the remnants of their cattle, now picking people to collect ransom. We have to get a remedy. How can we get a remedy to things like that?
You see, this is why I'm just telling, I have stated so many things. Some of these issues is the issue of the fact that, one, there should be development. Government should try to see that corruption, we should do away with corruption. In all those places, ungoverned areas, there should be some level of development. Let them, let government try to see that people
development gets to them.
Gets to them.
All right, General. We have our first caller, Mohammed Bello. We deliberately refused to open the line to allow you say a lot, but then, of course, we have Mohammed Bello from Bauchi. Hello, Mohammed Bello. Welcome to the program.
Thank you very much, Mr. Thank you so much.
All right.
Yes. The guest there that you are discussing together with has raised a very important issue, which, if it is not handled very well, nothing can move well in this country.
Okay, what is it?
Yes, this judgment from the first. Yes, it's one of the fundamental principles of every kind of a democratic system. There must be a separation of power. But in Nigeria, I don't see any kind of separation of power that is happening in our country. everything is in the hand of the executives. They are the people responsible for appointing these judges and removing them at their will. So this will not argue well with our society, because anyone that is suffered for whatever type of injustice, his best let's get
All right.
Get remedy. Yes, it's from the court, and the people have lost confidence in this our courts. They are no longer there to have justice to people, but they look at people based on their pocket, their appearances, their political alliance, and what have you. So unless and until we address this issue of just the courts, we won't have a peaceful society. And also this division between Christian and the Muslims. It is not only in the
Okay, I think he has made his point, Mohammed. Thank you very much for calling from Bauchi. He emphasized the point you made on justice system.
It's a nexus.
Yes, it is Usman Danfodio who said, yes, lands can thrive on justice, but cannot thrive on injustice. But then you realize that when you talk about justice, it's not just about judges. Even if somebody is headmaster in school, if he favors people from his own side, it's injustice. But this is what we are seeing now. If you are, sorry to use the word, if you are general, you favor people from your place with all sense of responsibility. But then, so how can we change the psyche of Nigerians?
You see, this is why I say there is need for ethical reorientation.
And who will lead
this is why
the
I say the religious leaders, community leaders, and parents at home, all of us, we should try to, we should go back to the basic.
And general, but you can see that religious leaders, many of them have compromised. I saw somebody sharing, this internet has exposed the rot in the system. Someone showed some big clerics, in jeeps, as if they're presidents. And he said, where is the money coming from? Then if it is parent, now teacher cannot plug anybody's son because they can mobilize talks to go and beat the hell out of that teacher. So everyone is for himself. Who will be for Nigeria?
This is why I say that there is corruption, injustice. So many aspects of criminality have eaten deep into the fabric of our community. And this is why there is need for us to return to the basic. And this is why I can tell you that there is no route you can take more than these routes I've told you. There are 3 pillars. That's the religious leaders, community leaders, and heads of families, we the parents.
Whether we like it or not, we have to start from there.
We're the ones.
Some are saying it is our political leaders that they should change their perception about grabbing power to see it as a call to service. They will set a good example.
I assure you they can, but the question, I know that they say if the head is rotten, actually the body is also rotten. But I can tell you that for this kind of issues, we start from the grassroots. There are issues that start at the top. At the top, you show example. Maybe we show example from the bottom. You have to start, because everything that we are doing starts from the family. This is why they say charity begins at home.
So how can justice be taken to Northwest, for instance, now? Because people are just talking about, okay, let's try and arrest this kingpin. Let's kill this set of people. But before you answer this, we have a caller. Let's hear from him. Hello, welcome to the program. Hello.
Hello, Hamza.
Yes, good evening. Welcome to Daily Politics.
Good evening.
Good evening. We are with you. Hello? Can you reduce the volume of your TV set and then
Hamza,
speak?
can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Go ahead.
Can you hear me, Hamza? Good evening.
Good evening. We can hear you. Go ahead. Speak out. It appears he's very much closer to his TV set and he's not even aware that. Okay, then we have another one. Hello, welcome to Daily Politics. Hello?
Yeah, well done, sir.
Yes, good evening, please, quickly, let's hear you.
Yeah, good evening.
Yes.
Thank you so much. You guys are doing a great job. We appreciate.
All right, thank you.
I just want to let us know that there is need for Nigerians to be treated equally.
Okay, justice.
Yeah, because the indifference is too much. The gap between the poor and the rich is too much. And that's why we find people are misbehaving anyhow. And the judiciary and other ministries, you know, they no longer respect poor people. Please, there is a need, like my brother just said, we need to know our rights and we must, you know, defend everything that has to do with our own personality.
All right, thank you very much. I'm compelled to end your call now because we have nearly come to the end of the program and we want the general in the studio to say a word or two before we wrap up. He also dwell on justice. The question I ask is how can we take justice, especially to the Northwest, where we now see people going to mosque to kill innocent people.
This is why I advise that I'm calling on the leadership of the armed forces that we need to get more personnel,
Okay.
more equipment into these areas.
How can governors key into it? Governors.
The only way they can...
Because we had some governors saying they don't even know what is happening. They have been isolated, even though they are the so-called chief executives.
No,
Yes.
they have a role to play because they can lobby. They can lobby. They can lobby the president. They can lobby the service chiefs who will also get orders from the
By
president.
defecting to his party or...
No.
Okay.
No, you just show the sufferings your people are going through because... you know, the deployment of armed forces is usually approved by the president. So even
It's
if
not by the chief of defense staff. He needs some clearance also.
yes. So the question is that if you have a problem, you present it to the president. You don't need to. He's the president of everybody.
Finally, beyond the kinetic, now the non-kinetic. What do you think in the interim must be put in place?
Good. This is why I've told you there are so many things we should do. One, we should make sure there is justice. We should bring development where there is none. We should have social safety nets where the poor and the vulnerable can be able to get, even if you don't have anything, you should be able to survive.
You should eat.
You should be able
go to
eat.
school.
Yes, you should
go
to
hospital.
We should have that.
All
You
right.
know? Not only that, then for those who are, there should be education, there should be skill training. There should be skill training.
All right,
and then
finally.
if we are to go into negotiation, we should negotiate in the position of strength.
Not
and
position
then
of
finally,
weakness as we are seeing.
we should have humanitarian support. Like all those people that you have spoken, that your person went and he didn't meet anybody, it shouldn't be. At every point, there should be, the government should try to come to the aid of those who are actually displaced or those who are killed. You know, we should see the government showing a lot of concern
And
to
empathy.
anybody and empathy to anybody in the country that they are doing a lot, but a lot needs to be done.
All right.
To make sure that anybody who is a victim, he
Gets
has
some.
somebody, because the government is like a father. He has somebody who cares for him.
All right, thank you very much, Major General Umar Mohammed, for coming to our program and for your informed perspective on some of these problems we are facing. We hope to have you some other time. And because that's a wrap on today's package, join us on Sunday for another interesting edition of Sunday Politics. From here, I'm Hamza Idris. Good night and bye-bye from here.